Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Sparkle Smith. Again, welcome to the Self Published Woman Unleashed podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. This podcast focuses on encouraging women leaders to fulfill their dreams and book publishing goals, and as well as providing strength along the journey of professional and personal development. This podcast has listeners who are authors, male, female, as well as those involved in personal professional development. And in today's podcast, I would like to talk about podcasting for authors. Again, this podcast, I have several listeners that are not authors, that are not women, who are also personal professional development. But the majority or mainstream of people that this ideal podcast would be ideal for are those who are authors and professional and personal development enhancer seekers. So those who are in personal and professional development are looking to increase their personal professional development, looking for encouragement. Everyone's really looking for encouragement, but if there's content that you're looking for that's few and far between and doesn't have enough information about personal professional development or authors, this is the podcast for you, definitely. So, but all listeners are very, very welcome. I get listeners of all kinds. But what we're going to talk about today is podcasting good for authors? Now, most authors just want to get their book done. It's a lifelong accomplishment for many. Since they were a child, they wanted to write a book and get it published, right? Some of them say, well, I don't care about the money. I just want to get it out, and I want it to get into the hands of the reader that will most benefit the book. And there are others that realize that although it's not about the money, in order to get that book out to the ideal reader that they want it to reach, because again, a book has the ability to change or transform someone's life. It can get someone out of an abusive relationship. It can help them get into a great relationship with great relationship advice, etc. Just an examples, based on the genre of the book. And so the idea is to get the book into as many readers as possible who could benefit. Now, there are some who just like the content, even though it may not apply to them. They're just interested. Maybe they're just seeking the personal development. And that's okay too. But for that author who's saying, I want this book to get created. It's been my lifelong desire or dream. And not only do I want to get it created, I want it to impact as many people that will be helped or whose lives can be transformed. And so with that said, if that is the goal for the author, then a podcast is definitely a great avenue for that. There's marketing and sales and ads and purchasing ads and maybe going on social media and doing your free marketing by posting every day or going live, etc. However, a way that you can reach and impact those people who may not just only buy your book, but receive the content regarding your podcast, I would say a podcast is definitely beneficial to the author. And not only can you find those readers, those ideal readers, you can find other readers as well. And so the podcasting, everyone likes to listen to podcasts. It's not as overwhelming as per se a video. Social media you can look at visually or you can listen. However, most people with social media, they're sitting there looking at their phones, scrolling. With podcasting, you can play it on different platforms. By the way, this podcast is available on various platforms: Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio are four of the major ones, as well as YouTube podcasting. So if you have a YouTube account, or even if you go there as a guest, you can just type in the podcast name and you will find that. And the author of the podcast doesn't even have to subscribe to those, but you can find it on those various platforms. But, let's say if someone's listening to their podcasting while they're on their way to work, it's a great way to listen to work. If they don't like the local radio as much, they want something different, they want something specific to their topic of interest, or if they are interested in becoming an author or need specific information to help them overcome an obstacle, reach a goal in a specific area, and that particular author who has that podcast is there and they can listen to what's needed. Now, along that journey, that listener may buy the book, especially if they definitely need and they need to take their journey further as far as professional or personal development. So that is definitely an avenue, but they will definitely receive your message, whether in book form or podcast form. So I would say absolutely, it's a great idea. It's very interesting. I'd always thought about that when I became an author. So I didn't just create a podcast because I was an author. It was for various reasons. I had been going live on social media for quite some time before I even completed publishing my book. And I had started a business that was separate. It was educational consulting, and then it was like life coaching, consulting combined. And there were individuals who were telling me, oh, you have a great voice, you have a great radio or journalist voice, you should have been a journalist. And actually, I was interested in high school in majoring in journalism, but wasn't for sure if that was the right major. So I didn't, but I've always been told I had that journalism voice, that radio voice. And so I was excited when I finally ventured out. And actually, one of my clients who I helped publish book had went ahead and started her podcast after she created her book. And I saw it. She had shared it on one of the social media platforms. And I was like, wow, it wasn't as, overwhelming to think. Just like when people write a book, they're thinking, okay, I got to do this. This is so intimidating, overwhelming. I don't know where to start. And so I saw her on social media. And I remember even her, she has an amazing book. It took her some time to even start the process of the book writing. But once she realized it just came so natural. And so once I saw her, I was like, oh, okay. And then I questioned her and asked her, what platform she uses, etc. Then, once you can see it and you can see it maybe in someone else, it's not as difficult to research or to attain. And so there's another client of mine that I helped publish their book, whom I interviewed recently, and you can go back and listen to her podcast. And there's several authors that I have helped publish who I've interviewed about their book, about the content in their book, about the message of their book, about their own message as a professional, an author, and their skills of expertise. And so one of my clients was like, you have a great podcast. This is great. Why don't you, have you ever thought about helping authors create podcasts, or just individuals creating podcasts in general? And I was thinking, oh, that's an awesome idea. And so there you have it. I will be conducting a free 3-week course. It's going to be every Thursday. I'm going to put registration information up shortly. And it's going to be every Thursday starting, I believe, September 7th. So it's probably the 7th, the 14th, and 21st, I believe. And it's going to be 7 p.m. Central. Once you register, you'll be emailed a meeting link, and I will go step by step from scratch, starting and growing, how to start and grow your podcast. Whether you're a business owner or just wanting to reach the audience who your content and message can help, or if you're an author and you have a specific message within your book that you want to reach as well, or if you just was always interested in becoming a podcaster and never knew how to exactly do it. There's all type of podcasting. There's social media going live, but the actual professional standard, maybe standard. I don't even want to say traditional, but I mean the original type of podcasting, but traditional or standardized, I'd say standardized way to podcast is to actually how I'm doing it here among how so many other podcasts are doing. They are actually setting up a podcast account, reaching listeners who listen to podcasts on different platforms. Creating an account, not just pushing their go live button on social media. And that's great if people have done that, because that'll give them practice and confidence when they start their podcast. But you don't have to have any any experience either. And then it may even help build your confidence. So, if you've ever been on the fence about it, if you just want to know more about it, or you're ready to go, but you don't know how to start and you don't know really who to trust, I would say definitely sign up for the course. And it'll probably be in the description of this episode as well. And I'll be sharing more information about it in the upcoming days, especially as the date approaches. And I hope this podcast has been beneficial to you and helpful to you. I hope you're encouraged, staying cool if you're in the area where I'm at in the United States. Hope you're staying cool, keeping cool, being cognizant of, the air quality, staying hydrated, staying organized, staying decluttered. I talked in my last episode about decluttering and the importance of that. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your focus. It's good to stay on track. So hope you are staying well and are ready to go to start a podcast. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.